and they are tied for the best record in the AFC with New England, and we'll be watching and rooting for the Giants tonight. And young Anakin with his face paint, Jackson Dart, is back for the Giants. Hey, go play upset and Dragon Slayer. You almost did it here. Jackson Dart. Maybe do that up in Foxborough tonight. We shall see what happens. But, guys, a terrific win. Let's get into that play right at the end, because you kind of had a sense as Washington was going down the field. I'll get to Riley Moss in a second. But once they completed that pass and it looked like they were going to score, I think we all figured they would go for two. You're 3-8. Well, Dan Quinn would have been roasted if he kicked the extra point and played for the tie. So you knew they were going to go for it. They line up. The Broncos call timeout. And Sean Payton, what was discussed during that timeout?
We just, every once in a while, we call it a Kodak situation where you have a timeout. The game's going to end. So call the timeout, regroup, collect your thoughts. Vance did a great job changing a call up, and it was the right call.
All right, guys, take me through this, because we see this a lot. We see it in basketball. We see it in football. You as a couple of offensive guys, you come out with a play call, and you're ready to run that play, and then the opposing team, they take the timeout to take a look at what you're doing. Do you guys typically in that situation come out and still stay with the play, or do you counter the timeout by coming up with something different?
Yeah, I think you kind of lean into what you do best. Like, we're going to come out. You didn't know what the play is. You see the personnel. You see the formation, whatever. And it's a Polaroid moment. It's a Kodak moment. You go out there, you look at what they did, and then you decide how you want to attack them, what you want to do. And I think one thing about Vance Joseph that's pretty standard is in critical moments, man, I'm going to trust my guys to play man-to-man, and I'm going to bring heat. Good things are going to happen to us when we bring some heat. And you're right, man. They had Hufanga, stuck in traffic. It was like I-25 this morning. He had to go through I-25 this morning. He was in Lone Tree, and and that dude was down there by Orchard, and there was no way he was going to cover that. But Benito with the pressure got in that passing lane, knocked the ball down. And again, good things happen to this defense because they err on the side of our guys are better than your guys. We are going to bring pressure, and we're going to force, we're going to force the action, and that's what they did.
Yeah. Does everyone know what Kodak is? Like these days, do the youngsters know? Like, I don't know if my 21-year-old would actually know if I said, "Hey, Kodak, do you know what Kodak is?"
I was young once.
Yeah, why don't you bring people up to speed?
Yeah, I mean, Kodak is, a picture, camera. I mean, that's what you're doing, so that's what Sean Payton's talking about. But I don't know. Does everyone still know that? I mean, obviously we do. We're a little bit older, but the younger generation, do they know Kodak? I don't know. So, but that's what you want to do, right? You're a coach, so you want to take a look, take a picture of what they're doing offensively, call a timeout. Really, what does that matter? What does it matter? Like, you can look at their personnel group. You already knew what they were in. Are they going empty? Are they not? Okay, you kind of have an idea, but you don't know if they're going to change it or not, right? And so some teams will just say, hey, we're going to stay with the same thing. We don't care. What does it matter to us what they're going to do? We're going to figure, usually in that situation, what do teams do? They bring some type of pressure. They're not just going to sit back and let Mariota scramble around. You're going to bring some – so you kind of know they're probably going to be playing man-to-man in a lot of cases, not all the time. So I get it. It's a good job. Get your guys regrouped, whatever the case may be, but you don't actually know what the other team's going to do after you come out of the timeout. So I think it's a little bit overhyped that, okay, we called a timeout, Kodak. Well, now they can change what they're doing, and sometimes teams will stay with what they're doing. Sometimes teams will change it up. You have a bunch of different plays that you have on short yardage situations or two-point plays that you can go to if you're a team like Washington. But great job overall by the Broncos. They had a guy open. Sometimes you got to make up for a wide-open guy. Someone's just got to make a play, and Benito obviously made a big play.
Because, Mark, you can talk all you want about how you had one call and then you changed the call after the timeout.
Right.
Fact remains, Washington had the play.
The
play was
wide
there.
open. It was a two-point conversion. You lose the game if Benito doesn't make that play. Right. You're 100% right. The other thing you can do as an offense is you can come out in the exact same formation with the exact same personnel grouping and have a different play called. You can do that too, right? So you can say, hey, this is the play we had. Now they're going to adjust, whatever. But like to Stokes' point, most teams down there are going to bring heat. They're going to bring pressure. Most of the time when you're down there, you're getting some form of man-to-man. It's just the way it is. So there's not a lot of room down there that, that even if you're playing zone, you're playing a match zone where if the guy comes to you, you're taking him. So it all is man-to-man.
I'm curious how you guys felt. I'm curious how everybody else out there felt as that game was winding down. Has the mentality out there changed when it comes to these Broncos? Whereas for years, certainly last year, maybe even early this year, there was always, I don't believe they're going to be able to make the play. I'm skeptical that they're going to make the big play. I'm curious if as that game was playing out, if there was a belief out there that, you know what, somebody, somewhere, somehow, at some time is going to make the big play. I trust this team now to make the big play.
Yes.
Were you in that mindset?
Absolutely. I tweeted before overtime that they were going to win that football game. I believe they were going to get it done. This is just, I think that's how most Broncos country fans feel, right? Going into these tough moments, they've delivered in the most crucial times. In the fourth quarter, Bo has done it. This defense has done it. They have found a way to win a football game. And I thought last night was going to be no different. It's just this team is made of something that, some really good football teams, great talent all over the place. Sometimes they just don't have that clutch, that clutch gene, teams that don't get it done when it matters the most. This team, in its different ways, right, whether it be special teams, defense, offense, when it matters the most, they found ways to win football games, close football games. So the pressure doesn't get to them. So in those situations, yes, I feel differently. You look at last year, they couldn't win a close game, it seemed like, one-score game. This year, they find different ways to win it. And so, I feel a lot different about this team than I did maybe 8, 9, 10 weeks ago.
I think for me, defensively, I've felt that way since the start of the season. They're going to find a way to make a big play. They're going to find a way to get a stop. They're going to find a way to force you. Even you go back to week one. They made several big plays on the defensive side to essentially win that game, to line up for a 60-some-odd yard field goal, and then leverage cost us a game. But they made the plays late. But I think the thing that has surprised me, and now I feel like I've gone, completely 180 on this, is when they're in a critical situation on offense, where at the beginning of the season I was real skeptical. Now in critical situations, I feel like this team's going to make a play. And they made it on that final drive in overtime with the dump off to Harvey. And then here comes the guard in there shoving to get that first down. Then the dump off to Troutman, and he finds a way to get a first down. Then the jerk route to Evan Ingram, who makes a big play and beats Bobby Wagner. And, you just know they're going to make a play. You just know it.
Now, the big play came after Riley Moss gave up the big play to Deebo Samuel, and it's led to a very, very heated back and forth among some of our viewers on our Denver Sports YouTube channel. Subscribe and get involved. Let's see. Ronnie Duran, 485. Riley Moss is the weak link. He's awful, and we wouldn't be in that situation if he would just play better. Google Gmail 5904. Trade Moss ASAP. Good guy, good DB, just a liability. That's all there is to it. Puck Civ 6407. Lay off Moss. He is the most targeted DB in the league. He cleaned it up last night. He did. Up until he didn't. So, end of the night, what's the takeaway after a week in which Moss was, walking around with boxing gloves and was definitely better on some of the deep shots last night. Ironically enough, it was the big weakness was something he's been very good at is just shadowing and targeting a guy. He just kind of let up and lost Samuel on that play. So
right.
Where are we with Riley Moss after a game in which, his supporters will say, hey, the dude is playing really, really well, and his detractors are saying, how can you say that when we see what we see every week?
Yeah, you see the big negative plays. That's what he's got to get out of his game. Is just giving up the huge explosive play, or having a terrible penalty at a terrible time. So he's got to figure that out. There was so many positives. There are a lot of positives with Riley Moss. You got to have better awareness, down and distance, situational football. Like you can't. I think about the Philly game when Devontae Smith runs right by him on 3rd and 25. He's like, dude, what are you doing? You got to have better awareness. And that play to Debo. Know the down and distance. Know what's going on. I mean, you just can't get beat deep in those situations. And then all of a sudden, I don't know. He just thought it wasn't going to be thrown that way. Kind of let up, slowed down, stopped on the play. You just got to clean that stuff up. He's still a young football player. So, you got to realize this guy's done a lot of good. Now, I get it. The people that want to be negative, there are plays out there that have you scratching your head that need to get better. But overall, there's a lot of positives there also. But gosh, you got to figure out some of the little things that drive you crazy. You can't give up certain plays in certain situations. You're going to have penalties. You're going to give up plays, but 3rd and longs, keep things in front of you. No down and distances. Have better situational awareness.
Yeah, I think with the situational awareness stuff, I think sometimes you're so reliant on the pass rush and you feel like there's a clock in your head. And we used to say it all the time. Alex Gibbs used to say this all the time. Don't play with the body clock. Right? There's a certain amount of time where you feel like where you've blocked a guy and the ball's got to be out. And you see guys start to relax a little bit, okay, the ball should be out now. Don't play with that body clock. And sometimes he plays with a little bit of a body clock where he's like, all right, Rush should get there. I ease up. Maybe I'm going to get an interception. Maybe the ball's going to come out and I'm going to break on it. And all of a sudden they don't get there. The quarterback makes a move in the pocket, and now you're flat-footed. You're caught flat-footed. And so some of that stuff, just play your assignment and don't worry about what everybody else is doing.
I like that. Was that Alex or Joe?
Alex,
yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Just checking.
Okay, yeah.
I like that.
The body clock? Yeah.
Those were the big plays made defensively. How about offensively in overtime, Bo Nix?
We were hoping to go on defense first, so when we got the football, it's just really important you score a touchdown because it puts the pressure on them. And I haven't played many overtime games in this league, so it's a little bit different. So scoring first is obviously it's a must, and then you got to score a touchdown because you can't really see what the other team does if you start on defense. So we did that in just a few plays, and that last drive, RJ had a great first catch to get it going. He had a great pickup on the next play, block pickup, and then he gets the ball in the end zone, and it was pretty impressive. Really good drive for a rookie. He had no back down in his face. He looked really confident, looked really good, and it's good. It's fun to see a guy like that put in all the work, really try really hard in the week, put in a lot of effort, put in a lot of work. It showed. I mean, he continues to play better and better. Happy he's on our team.
Yeah, no, I thought Bo was great, especially on that last drive. But I thought overall there were so many positives with Bo's game that I just looked at and I said, oh, I love this. I love that. He was very patient in the pocket. He took some checkdowns. He took off and ran when it was there, when nothing else was open in the passing game. So overall, there was a lot of things that we looked at Bo's game and said, okay, well, his feet need to be calmer. He needs to hang in the pocket more. I thought last night's game for Bo and the week before against the Chiefs, he's been getting better and better, and a lot of positives there, and especially in that last drive. What do you want to do in those situations? 2-minute drive or in the game situations like that where the pressure's on? You want to just get positive yards on that first play, and that's exactly what he did. Threw it to Harvey. They got 12 yards. Now the defense is on its heels. And you just saw Bo making the right plays, being very calm in the pocket. His feet were great, and guys were making plays for him also. So, for me, you look at that, and yeah, Bo's been clutch. He's made great plays, and it's been, up and down throughout the game. But yes, last night I just thought there were so many positives from his game to carry forward. Even if they would have lost it, there were so many things that I loved that I saw from him that I think he's taking steps and getting better and improving on, and that's what you really wanted to see. And then they did it, and they won a game, another close game. A lot of positives there from the Broncos and Bo Nix.
I think, to your point, Stoke, I think from a quarterbacking standpoint, I think one of the most important, from just a player standpoint in general, any player, know where your answers are. Right? Every time you line up, know where your answers are. And if your progression is 1 to 2, like 1 to 2, sometimes it's 1 to 2, quickly get to your check down. And I thought he did that really well. Or sometimes it's 1 to 2 and use your legs as your check down. Get out of there. Make a play happen. But I thought he was exceptional of having answers when things broke down. Knew where he wanted to go. And that's something you've got to have. It's kind of a pre-snap ritual, right? Know where I can't get beat. Know what's going to, know what really hurts us in this situation. And I thought he was so good, especially just the last overtime drive. Everything was, pretty much everything was a check down. Except, the little jerk route to Evan, who just exploded, down the seam after that, down the middle of the football field. But I thought he was great. To Stokes' point, that dude just made plays, and really there was a calmness about him in a chaotic situation where he did not look frenetic. He looked like he had all the answers.
Was it just me, or did we see the Broncos under center a lot more?
Well, I hadn't.
Maybe go back. Maybe that's a telestrator. It seemed like they were under center.
Interesting.
A little bit more. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. What did you make of? Boy, the camera got up close on Sean a lot last night. Man, they were right up. You want to make sure your nose hairs were trimmed before that game. I mean, they were right up in his grill. But we did see a couple things that were highlighted on the top of that. I loved how Collinsworth referred to it. He called it the cheesecake menu.
Yeah.
He did.
He listens.
Yeah.
Yeah, he listens. By the way, that's a good note, and I just wrote it down. I'm gonna have to.
Kind of a big deal.
Schedule a waxing.
Yeah, they were right up.
Right.
I mean,
got
it was like
waxing my nose hairs and ear hairs.
What do you mean? You wax your nose hairs?
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he does that.
And they yank them out.
Oh yeah, he goes and it goes up. I mean, it isn't just
they put like a
trim
little
at the bottom.
popsicle stick with
yeah.
wax.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, they stick it in there, and then they close your nose.
Right.
And then they let it dry, and then
and he wonders why he has nosebleeds all the time.
Yeah, and his eyes are like water. They're still water. You got what? Your eyes are bloodshot again.
I just put in my drops.
Goodness gracious, we
put
got
in my drops.
Very
Just settle
emotional.
down.
Very
What are you doing
emotional.
on the way here?
Well,
What'd you do
It was
on
in
the way?
Miami. It was in
What are you-
Miami.
What are you toking on? I don't know about
I
you,
don't know.
Mark.
I don't know.
Okay, it's a safe space. Look, if you
He talked to Mike
each their
McDaniel.
own.
He talked to Mike McDaniel. That's all I'm going to say.
No, but listen, I mean, what do you
Got
get
contact
Mark,
over the Zoom.
Mark, you don't need to do that. Just get the
was
little
high.
nose trimmer. Like, that's it.
No.
Anyway, it said on the top of, and it was very
Anyway,
easy. It was
Evan's
very
trying to get
it
us
was
back on track.
very
Go
it was
figure.
very easy to read the top of Sean's play sheet. One said, "Run it." Okay, we've seen that before. We know he doesn't really want to, but okay, run it. But then the other said, "Early." Was that what I think it was? Emphasis on getting everything in quicker, something that we've been talking about all year long. If you're going to have all those personnel groups, fine, but get it in earlier so that the whole operation doesn't seem as frantic. Is that what early meant on the top of that play sheet?
Only speculating.
You tell me.
I mean, it's been a little bit of an issue.
Is that a solid speculation? At least is that a solid speculation?
I think
if
so.
I said that to him right now, would he say, Evans, you're not close? Or would he say, good question?
I think you'd say good question.
Relative to
pull your head out of your ass. No, I think you're all over it. It's about getting the play in early and giving your whole offense an opportunity to get a great pre-snap picture. And it's not just the quarterback, it's everybody. It's Stokley in the slot. It's the receivers. Get yourself a great pre-snap picture so that you can execute at the highest level possible.
I
think that's exactly what it is.
I think so. And him talking about running the ball and having that on the play sheet. They got to figure out this running game. It's got to get better. I don't know. It's got to get better. And Bo can hype up R.J. Harvey and talk about him being young and doing the right things. And he's been really good in the passing game. He has been really good in the passing game. Need more in the running game from him. If not, you can't just keep going to him. I want to see someone else. Am I wrong here? I mean, let's see more McLaughlin. What the heck is Bidet doing? He doesn't even run the ball. We got to try something else. Am I wrong?
No, you are wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong. And everybody.
Please tell me why.
All
Mike.
this bit